One of the greatest deceptions ever is to believe that there is more than enough time. And in fact, many young people are misled by this belief because youth crowns you with a luxury of time. Therefore, it becomes super easy to turn complacent and abuse time. In short, the greatest temptation of youth is the abuse of time. No wonder procrastination is such a powerful time leak. It traps you in an illusion of excessive time. Oh, there's still time, there's enough time. And so you keep on shoving into the future what is meant for now. You keep on saving it for later. And then what happens? The reality of the shortage of time smacks you. And then you realize that what you thought you had more than enough time to do later, you didn't have. You see, some things are designed to happen at certain times, and if it doesn't happen at that particular time, you might miss the opportunity, you might miss that thing in a whole. Now, this is not to scare you or to get you anxious, thinking, oh, I don't have time, there's not sufficient time, and I have to do everything that I have to do now, 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 now. No, but to enliven your mind to the fact that you are not getting any younger, guy. And as cliche as it might sound, time waits for no man. So, awaken you to the responsibility of guarding your time wisely and utilizing this beautiful gift optimally. It's game on. You see, 5 years ago, I was 15, and in 5 years from now, I will be 25. Sounds scary. To you, these are probably just numbers, but to me, this is time ticking every second of my life and pounding on the door of my life to produce the substance of my existence. Every single birthday I celebrate comes with a question: what are you doing with your life? How are you evolving? How are you growing? How are you moving beyond the status quo, beyond that which society has laid out for you? There's got to be more to life than marriage, than getting a job, than going to school, maybe. There's got to be so much more. How are you evolving? How are you coming one step closer to your purpose and your destiny? And today, I want to ask you the same questions. What will future you thank you for? Now, let me tell you something. Your youth is your most prized asset. Think about all the amazing qualities that have been endued upon you as a reason of your youth: your cognitive abilities, your agility, your vigor, your strength, your talent, and above all, the beautiful gift of time. Now, you probably say, oh, I already know this stuff, but do you? What that means is that I'm going to grade your awareness through your actions, meaning that if you claim to be aware of something, then I should be able to verify that claim through your actions, which serve as the greatest metric for weighing one's awareness. Now, I want us to engage in a little bit of an exercise. Think about your current age. Yeah. Then subtract 5 years from your current age. Think about what you hoped to achieve 5 years ago, and if you've achieved those things now, if you're where you hope to be 5 years ago. Now, I want you to come back to the present, and now let's travel down to the future. I want you to add 5 years to your present age. 5 years. Think about where you hope to be in 5 years, what you hope to achieve. And now come back to the present and think about what you're doing right now to get there. What I want you to do, what I'm trying to do, is to help you cultivate consciousness about time and the demands of every moment and every season of your life, and to act according to those demands. Frances Jensen, the neuroscientist, said something remarkable in her book, which I would love to share with you. It says, I learned that there are unique vulnerabilities of this age, that's the adolescence stage of life. But there is also the ability to harness exceptional strength that fade as we enter into adulthood. Why not maximize this strength that you now have in this beautiful stage of life? I want you to think about it this way: adolescence is seed time, and adulthood is the harvest. It's funny how people think that they will automatically become smart and purposeful and valuable adults when they were never any of those things in their teenage years. It doesn't just magically happen. Adulthood doesn't magically bring with it fruits that weren't sown in the period of adolescence. Now I know that it is possible to become all of these things later in life, but why not become those things now when you still have the time before adult responsibilities begin to overwhelm you? Once again, adolescence marks the time of seed time and adulthood the time of harvest. I need you to understand that these two stages of life are not independent of each other. They are not separate stages of lives. They're connected, they're adjoined, and the stage of adolescence is a transition into adulthood, meaning whatever you're doing right now, whatever decisions you're making right now, will greatly impact your life in the future. So keep that at the back, at the front of your mind. Adolescence is a time of true wonder. Because of the flexibility and growth of the brain, adolescents have a window of increased opportunity with an increased capacity for remarkable accomplishments. Today's fruits are only a product of yesterday's seeds, taking the form of choices, whether you choose to doom scroll and acquire an influx of irrelevant information over cultivating knowledge about a skill or a field of interest that will yield growth in the long run. Whether you choose to watch a movie or play video games over reading a book, your future will tell us. Your future is going to show us the results of all these things. Guy, I envision future Lydia all the time. That proficient writer and renowned author, that equipped life coach, that really good ballerina, that public figure, that cultural commentator. I envision her all the time, and she keeps me going, and I cannot settle for anything less than her because I have envisioned that future. I have that picture in my mind. I cannot settle for anything less than that future. Therefore, I need to give that future what it demands to evolve into her, that version of me. The intentionality, the knowledge, the focus, I need to give it everything that it demands. So let me ask you, have you envisioned your future? Or are you settling for less right now? Or perhaps you don't even know what you're going to be in the future, so you don't even know if you're settling for less in the first place. Will future you get to thank you, or will you never meet them? Will you never meet that future you because you never gave it what it demanded to bring that future into fruition? I want to encourage you, if you haven't discovered yourself, if you haven't discovered your purpose, if you haven't discovered your gift, if you don't know who you are, where you're headed, and what you are to do to get there, then this is the opportunity that you have to figure all of that now, while you're still a youth, while you're still agile, while you're still young, while you still have a lot of potential to harness in this stage of adolescence. I need you to know that how you spend your time determines the quality of your life. Let this sink in. Time isn't just what you spend, it's an investment, and you're actively shaped by how you use your time. So many times, people have asked me if I read a lot or if I write. How do they know? How how did they guess and guess correctly that I read? Because they have seen me, they have seen the fruits of somebody who is knowledgeable, of somebody who has acquired knowledge intentionally. When people see you, what is the impression they have about you based on how you've been shaped by how you use your time? And this isn't about the impression that people have about you, it's just about how what has shaped you to the extent that people can see what you're becoming. So, how do you use your time? What do you spend your time on? Movies, K drama, social media, video games, unproductive, unfruitful conversations, lazy naps, time leaking activities such as switching between insignificant tasks, procrastinating. How do you spend your time? No, let's talk about it. I need you to think right now. How do you spend your time? So, how do you make the most of the time that you have? What are those investments that you can make with the time that you've got? Number one, I've got just three, by the way. Intellectual investments such as knowledge. Cultivate knowledge intentionally. Buy books, download PDFs. I grieve whenever I find young people who are dim-witted and uninformed. They bear a brain that seems to be bedeviled by all the junk that they have accumulated from uneducative and poor content on social media, on the media as a whole. It's just so sad, really, that you're a young person and you don't have a brain. I don't really think anyone was born smart. What do you think? Well, some people are special people, geniuses, we're all special. But I think knowledge is cultivated. It's something you cultivate over time, intentionally. It doesn't happen by accident. So go ahead, buy those books, download those PDFs, search for knowledge. When you find a word online that you don't know, research. Like you're young, you've got technology at your disposal. Number two, invest in your skills and your talent, in your value. This is so important as a young person who is evolving into the best version of themselves, into somebody successful, into an excellent person in their field of interest. You've got to hone your talents, discover those gifts, and don't just stop there. Don't leave them raw. Hone your talents, refine your talents, and then acquire complementary skills. Like when I discovered that I could write, I didn't stop there. I went on ahead to acquire more knowledge about storytelling, more knowledge about fictional writing, about non-fictional writing, about writing articles, about writing vlogs. Yeah, try as much as possible to be versatile. Explore while you're still young. And then when you grow older, oh my goodness, the older version of you is going to look back and say, "Thank you, Lydia. You did well. You did us good. I'm so proud of you." And then lastly, invest in your relationships. When you look at your time, it doesn't matter if you're an introvert or an extrovert. When you look at how you spend your time in a day, mostly we spend a chunk of that time relating with other people, talking to our friends, for instance, engaging in conversations. So I want you to invest in the right relationships, engage in healthy and productive conversations. This doesn't mean that your conversations have to be boring. This doesn't mean that everything you talk about with your friends has to be bookwormish or serious. Just engage in conversations that build you up mostly than you engage in conversations that bring you down or that stifle your intellectual capacity and your potential. Now, I want us to talk about something very serious. Serious mode on. This is very serious. I want us to talk about regret. This is so important. Now, I believe regret is uniquely painful because it ties the mind to what could have been but never was. Damn, that is painful. That is painful. Unlike sadness, anger, or even grief, regret looks backward and replace scenarios in which we imagine we might have chosen differently. Your life is in your hands, and you can control to a large extent the amount of regrets that you have in the future. I've met a lot of people, grown ups, people who aren't even that grown, who regret a lot of things that they could have done differently when they were much younger. But now they don't really have the time or the opportunity to do anymore. Trust me, you do not want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to have to look back and say, ah, God, I wish I had done this differently. I wish I had spent my time wisely. I know somebody who is suffering right now because he looked back and realized that like his entire life flashed before his eyes, and he couldn't even retrace his steps. He couldn't even say, okay, this is what I spent my time doing in my teenage years. These are the substantial, the tangible things I spent my time doing. That's so bad. That is so bad that when somebody asks you 3 years from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what did you do during your teenage years? You'd say, oh, you won't really remember. I can tell you what I was doing when I was 15, when I was 16, when I was 14, when I was 13. I can still recall those things and recount them to you. So regret is terrible. You don't want to go down that path. So while you still have the time and the opportunity, make the most, the best out of your life. So you will not have anything, or at least a lot of things to regret. I want you to evolve. I want you to be stronger. I want you to grow. I want you to be productive. I want you to be the best version of yourself. Above all, I want you to be the person that your creator made you to be, the person he predestined you to become in the future. And it would not happen overnight. It would not happen with you sleeping and folding your arms. It would happen through knowledge, which I'm dishing out right now, and through intentional effort, which is the part you have to play after watching this video. And finally, people, your future is counting on you to make the best, the most profitable choices today. Don't feel that dream. Don't feel that vision. Don't feel that purpose. And I am rooting for you, guy. I am rooting for you. So I hope you can say with me today, game on. All right, guys, we have come to the end of this podcast. I am unusually excited. It is September, you all. September 2025. I'm so happy. The year is running to an end, and I have been achieving a lot lately. Thanks to God. Thanks to God. Thanks be to God. If you enjoyed this episode, comment down below, comment your thoughts, and I would love to interact with you in the comments section. Guys, I'm going to put up my email on the screen. So if you have personal questions, if you have personal issues, you need someone to talk to, someone to share your burdens with, a shoulder to dump them all off on. I'm going to drop my email on the screen and just message me. I'll be happy to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching.